This machine is engineered for the impossible, built to survive the crushing forces that would shatter any human explorer into mere dust and bone today. Witness the birth of a titan, where every weld and every pulse of light is a testament to our defiance against the limits of the natural world. Step inside the sanctuary of modern engineering, where raw iron is transformed into a guardian of civilization, beginning its journey amidst deep shadows and cold fire. Here, the air is thick with the scent of ozone and the heat of creation, as brilliant sparks illuminate the skeletal frame of a rising god. Each electric arc binds the future together, a dance of energy that fuses heavy plates into a singular, indestructible vessel for the human spirit and mind. And thousands of specialized workers and smaller automated drones move in a synchronized ballet around the rising silhouette of a mechanical giant that towers above us all. This is not just a factory. It is a cathedral of industry where the rhythmic pounding of hydraulic hammers serves as the heartbeat of human progress. Every movement is calculated, every strike intentional, as the massive limbs of the machine take shape under the watchful eyes of the world's finest technical creators. Welcome to the place where dreams transcend the blueprint, becoming a physical reality that will soon walk among us and carry our heavy burdens forward. At 1500 degrees Celsius, the journey begins in the white-hot core of the forge, where liquid metal flows like the very lifeblood of the earth. This molten fire will become the spine of a titan, forged in extreme heat to ensure it never bends or breaks under the weight of history. The transition from fire to ice is violent and swift, tempered in massive cooling vats to achieve a molecular strength that defies all conventional physical logic. Massive mechanical claws hoist 30-ton segments with effortless grace, positioning them for the final refinement that will turn raw slag into a masterpiece of modern design. The skin of the machine is born from the furnace, textured and resilient, carrying the scars of its creation as a badge of honor and durability. Every edge is smoothed and every surface polished, revealing the hidden luster of high-grade alloys that are destined to face the crushing pressures of the abyss. In this realm of fire, humans are the masters of the elements, commanding the heat and the hammer to bend the world to their collective will. The engineers watch the cooling process with intensity, knowing that even the smallest fracture in the casting could spell disaster in the deep, dark reaches. And this massive pillar of steel will soon support the weight of a skyscraper, engineered to withstand the relentless pounding of the ocean's unforgiving and heavy tides. Segment by segment, the anatomy of the machine emerges from the smoke, a terrifying and beautiful display of industrial might that signals a new era. The forge never sleeps, a continuous cycle of destruction and rebirth that fuels the hunger of the assembly line and the ambitions of a hungry species. As the steam clears, the true scale of the task becomes evident, revealing the massive scale of the components that will soon form a single unit. But strength alone is not enough for the trials ahead. The Titan requires a mind to guide its power and a soul to understand its purpose. We leave the heat behind for the sterile silence of the laboratory, where the nervous system of the giant is woven together by the most delicate hands. Precision is the only law here, as technicians install miles of fiber optic cables that will carry data at the speed of thought across the frame. These tiny silicon brains are the architects of action, capable of processing trillions of variables to keep the massive machine balanced on the edge of a cliff. Visualize the invisible, a torrent of digital information surging through the limbs, connecting sensors to the core processor in a seamless web of artificial intelligence. The eyes of the robot flicker to life, utilizing laser arrays to map the world in 3 dimensions with a clarity that far exceeds human vision. It sees the heat of a distant engine and the cold of the vacuum, perceiving a spectrum of reality that was once hidden from our primitive eyes. Behind the reinforced casing lies the central intelligence, a neural network trained on the cumulative knowledge of human engineering and the logic of survival. Each connection is tested and retested, and ensuring that every command from the pilot is translated into perfect physical motion without a single millisecond of delay. The system boots up, a digital awakening that hums with the potential of 1,000 minds working in perfect, silent harmony within the steel shell. Light pulses through the internal corridors of the robot, signaling that the soul has been successfully integrated into the body of the waiting, silent giant. Complex algorithms begin their
All
diagnostic
systems
routines,
nominal.
checking every subsystem for errors as the machine prepares to take its very first virtual and simulated steps. Every solder point is a bridge between the physical and the digital, a masterpiece of microengineering that empowers the macroscopic force of the mechanical titan. Human touch remains essential, guiding the machine's evolution and ensuring that the technology remains a tool for our protection and the advancement of mankind. The code is written in the language of the future, and a symphony of logic that will govern the movements of a god among men. The transition is complete. The spark of intelligence has been ignited, and the giant is no longer just a statue of metal, but a living entity. Now comes the moment of unification, where the brain and the brawn are joined together in the grand assembly hall under the gaze of giant cranes. A massive hydraulic knee, weighing as much as a main battle tank, is lowered with surgical precision into its designated slot on the lower leg frame. High-torque wrenches scream as they lock the components together, creating a bond that no force on Earth can easily sever during the heat of operation. Golden fluid pulses through translucent tubes, the lifeblood that will provide the immense pressure needed to move limbs that weigh hundreds of thousands of tons. Standing at the base of the machine, one feels insignificant, and a mere shadow beneath the towering pillars of engineering that now reach toward the high ceiling. The upper body is mated to the hips, a delicate operation involving hundreds of engineers and real-time computer monitoring to ensure a perfect, seamless fit. The sound of 1,000 servos creates a high-pitched choir, a mechanical song of readiness as the joints are tested for their full range of motion. Massive planetary gears rotate with a smoothness that belies their size, engineered to move with the grace of a dancer despite their immense and crushing weight. The arms are lifted into place, weapons and tools of construction ready to be bolted to the shoulders of the most powerful machine ever built by man. Finally, the head is lowered into position, the command center from which the pilot will see and interact with a world that is soon to change. Look upon the completed form, on 30 meters of reinforced steel and cutting-edge technology, standing as a monument to what we can achieve when we dream big. Workers swarm over the exterior like ants on a fallen monument, finishing the final panels and checking the seals on every critical and sensitive external sensor. The interior is a cockpit of the future, a fusion of ergonomics and tactical displays designed to allow a human to pilot this massive metal body. Thick power conduits feed the beast from the factory grid, charging the massive capacitors that will soon provide the energy for its first autonomous movements. The floor vibrates as the internal reactor hums to life, a low-frequency growl that can be felt in the very marrow of those standing nearby. Composite armor plates are bolted over the sensitive joints, providing a final layer of defense against the unpredictable and violent hazards of the deep ocean floor. From every angle, the machine is a masterpiece of symmetry and power, and a predator of the industrial age designed to hunt in the most hostile environments. The emblem of the creators is burned into the chest plate, a mark of pride and a promise of quality that will travel to the stars. But before it can walk among the mountains, it must face the trials of the chamber, where its limits will be pushed to the very breaking point. The heavy blast doors seal the robot into a world of simulated pain, where the true strength of our engineering will be tested against the elements. Massive weights are swung into the armor, a brutal percussion of metal on stone to ensure the pilot remains safe inside the belly of the steel beast. Submerged in a high-pressure tank, the robot is subjected to the crushing weight of 5 miles of ocean, searching for even the tiniest leak in the hull. Sensors monitor every stress point, in recording the data as the frame groans under pressures that would flatten a modern submarine into a thin sheet of metal. Intense heat lamps simulate the surface of a sun-scorched planet, testing the internal cooling systems that must keep the sensitive electronics from melting into useless slag. Liquid nitrogen sprays the joints, testing the resilience of the lubricants and the flexibility of the seals in the absolute zero of the deep, dark outer space. Artificial lightning strikes the frame, ensuring that the grounding systems can handle the massive surges of energy found in the heart of a superstorm. In the observation booth, faces are tense, eyes fixed on the dials as they push the machine harder and further than it was ever meant to go. It wavers under the onslaught, but the gyroscopes and the AI fight back, maintaining balance and proving that this machine is truly built to endure the impossible. As the pressure is released, the machine stands tall. Unbowed and unbroken, a survivor of the digital and physical gauntlet we have forced it to run. The verdict is clear.
Sequence is stable.
The Titan is
We
ready,
have a green light.
perfect fusion of form and function that has earned its right to step out into the real world. The great gates of the factory slide open, revealing the blinding light of the morning sun as the world prepares to meet its newest and strongest protector. With a sound that echoes like thunder across the valley, the robot takes its first step onto the soil of the earth, shaking the ground with its power. Why? Its shadow stretches for miles, a dark titan against the horizon that symbolizes the reach of human ambition and our refusal to be conquered by the unknown. We see the scale of our achievement, a lone giant walking toward the edge of the world, leaving the nest of its creation to fulfill its destiny. Behind the machine are the thousands who built it, and their faces etched with the fatigue of years of labor, but shining with the light of true triumph. In their eyes, we see the future, a world where the monsters of our nightmares are held at bay by the guardians we have built with our hands. This is the legacy of intellect, a testament to what we can become when we unite our technology with our courage to explore the dark and distant. The journey of the giant has only just begun, a march toward the horizon where new worlds and new challenges await those brave enough to lead the way.